All right, guys. Hope everyone's having a good night. I just want to welcome everyone to Real Fan Sports Podcast, Episode 1. Real fans, real sports, real time. Now let's talk about it. We're just a group of regular guys who are very passionate about their sports and teams. So I just want to start off with small introductions. Myself, co-host Jojo Gomez, born and raised Brooklyn, New York. So you already know who I'm rocking with. New York Yankees all day, every day. Sad ending to the season, but we'll get into that later. Let's see. I'd say definitely a LeBron fan. You already know wherever LeBron goes, I goes. Congrats to his fourth ring. And for football, Broncos all day, every day. Now to introduce our next co-host, we got Jacksonville's finest, Julian Leandro.
Got the co-host, the guy introing with no camera feed on right now, saying he's from New York with a Lakers jersey. I don't know what's up with that.
Oh God. Yeah, I apologize, guys. Current moving situation. You know what I mean? I'll be up and ready next week. You guys get to see the gear. I have the Lakers hat with a Yankee jersey combination right there. But go ahead, Julian.
But yeah, as he said, from Jacksonville, Florida, diehard Jaguars fan. Other than that's all we got. So other than that, I root for all the Miami teams. So, but I'm not a Dolphins fan. Tell them what.
You're not gonna tell them that you like 3 different football teams.
I got backup teams. That's all it is, and that's not 3 of them. What's my backup team? Right. If the Jags suck, which it looks like they're going to be this year, we're already 1-4. Probably going to root for the Patriots. So.
Oh, so
but honestly, I've been really into the Seahawks lately. Really good.
Here we go. He says I'm the bandwagon, but I'll see how the season unfolds. Where Julian ends
the Seahawks are my bandwagon team. I'm calling them and Green Bay. I've always been an Aaron Rodgers fan.
Wearing at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Let's see if you change that Jags hat to a Seahawks hat.
Never.
So we're gonna call you out in that.
Never.
Next we got Miami's finest. Danger, Granizo, Gabe.
So my name's Gabe. Grew up in Miami. Diehard Miami's fan. Everything Miami, Dolphins, Marlins, Heat. I kind of grew up into baseball, so I was a Yankees fan when I started playing since I was like 4 years old. So Yankees were winning at the time, so that was my team. But everything Miami, all Miami sports. We'll get into feelings about LeBron when we talk about the NBA.
All right, before we continue, you got to throw the fin up. You got to show the fans real quick.
Fan? The what?
The fin. Miami Dolphins.
The fin.
What is this?
Yeah.
He's a Marlin. He's a Marlin
let's go fish. All right, guys, we're going to get into our first topic of the night. Hope you guys are ready. We're going to talk about NBA Finals recap. You know me, I'm already jumping out of my chair right now. Don't make me go into the closet. You guys are lucky I'm off camera to show you guys all the gear that I have set up. But
like 5 different teams that LeBron's been on.
I'll be last. So let's start with Gabe. Let's hear your take on the finals.
Listen, so going into the finals, I think with this NBA bubble, we're trying to see. A lot of people are saying that the season was going to be an asterisk just because of the bubble situation. A lot of going into the playoffs, people talk about the sight lines as far as shooting. And if you saw the beginning of the NBA season, there was a high percentage shooting. All the games were like high scoring, like 115, 130 points. It's because the shooting was better. There was no hands to block or kind of distract or whatever. So you knew the shooting was going to be good. And a lot of people say, whatever about crowd noise or traveling, that adds pressure to the playoffs. But overall, I didn't think, we got to the finals as far as Lakers, Miami Heat. I think, the series was stacked against them. Everybody was counting Lakers as a win. Everybody said it was automatic. Put the kids to bed. But I thought overall, obviously the Lakers won. They were the favorites and they won, so there was no really surprise there. I thought it was overall a success for the Miami Heat because, my championship personally was when they played the Bucks. So anything after the Bucks series, when you gentlemen sweep the Bucks 4-1, anything after that is bonus. So overall, I feel real positive about the Miami Heat. I thought their season was a success. Obviously, they had a couple games where they got blown out versus the Lakers, but they also played some really good games too. The games that they won, they actually played really well. So I think that's overall, I feel positive about my Heat. I wanted them to win the whole thing, but I'm feeling really good about the season heading into the new NBA season. We'll see if this bubble continues, but I think it's going to be overall positive. I don't know how you felt about that, Julian. How do you feel about the Heat?
I think the Heat, honestly, Eric Spoelstra proved a lot to me. Like during those LeBron years, I really didn't know how I felt about him. I mean, like, how can you not be great when you got all those players right there? So to me, I think, you just got to trust Pat Riley. He can pick the right people. Like, honestly, I would have never guessed Eric Spoelstra could coach. That team was all coaching. That team had honestly no business being in the finals, but they somehow they did it. I mean, people showed up when they needed to. I mean, I would have never guessed the beginning of the season they would have made it. I would have never guessed. But I mean, Jimmy Butler balled out in game 5 and 4? No, 3 and 4?
Triple double?
3 and 5? Yeah.
Triple double.
But that's what it took though. Because the thing is, like, to beat the Lakers, they just got too much firepower. It was just too hard. And with Anthony Davis, he was just unstoppable. And the 2 games they won, they were able to shut him down, but they need to do it consistently. And I think they just didn't have the personnel to do it. I mean, there's talks of them picking up Giannis next year. I think you pick up Giannis next year. I mean, that's a huge, to me, I think they could beat the Lakers with that. Because honestly, I think LeBron maybe have one more great year in him. But then after that, that's AD's team, like 100%. And like for that, I don't like how people put like the asterisk on this season, because like honestly, this is the most fair season ever. Like it can't get any more fair. Like, I mean, they're eating to the point where they're eating the same exact food. Like they're eating the same food, they're doing the same schedule, no fans. Like, I mean, everything about it was equal. Like it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good
like
point.
I would not put an asterisk by this. I mean, it literally couldn't be any more fair. And that.
Let's hear from our resident Lakers fan. He's so giddy. He just wants to talk about his Lakers, how much they won.
No.
Tell me how good they are.
No.
George don't even know who the Lakers coach is.
All right, guys. Frank Vogel, first of all. All right, second of all, there's one word to describe how I felt this series, right? Conflicted, right? Whether or not I'm a LeBron fan or not, you guys know, the fans don't know, I am, or was previously, Miami Heat employee. So, I worked on the front lines, getting the fans hype, rooting for the Heat, every single home game, going to the events. And, for them to make it that far, obviously I want to tip off my hat and congratulate them, real quick, because they definitely deserve it, and this was a kind of a missed opportunity, obviously with COVID, being there in the stands with them during this finals run, that would have been unforgettable. Due to missing the playoffs the last, 2 or 3 seasons, for them to make it that far, again, doing a gentleman's sweep against the Bucks. But before I get into, my Lakers side, I do want to say I agree with Julian's point with how everything was pretty much even. The teams didn't have to travel. Again, coming down to them eating the same food. But I'd say this was actually one of the hardest seasons ever, to go on a 3-month hiatus, taking a break. Who's to say that certain players weren't working out, keeping up with their fitness, or some took advantage of it and, took that time to get their cardio in. You saw players like Jokic come in, a lot slimmer or fit, and that's definitely going to affect your game. You saw videos of Russell Westbrook training in the sand, with Kevin Hart, things of that sort. But we also had social injustice going on. They use their platform for Black Lives Matter. And, it's very distracting, and you're trapped in a bubble and you're worried about what's going on the outside. It's kind of hard to stay focused. You're away from your families and with everything going on. So I say this was actually one of the hardest seasons fought, and there's a lot of different factors. Fans could change the momentum of a game with a snap of a finger. You get hot, you go on the streak, that can completely change the series. And of course, like I said, with the traveling factor. But congratulations to the Lakers, of course. Well, I want to say LeBron James, because I'm not a Laker fan. Just so y'all know, yes, you could call me LeBron follower. That's okay because, I was a LeBron fan since I was a kid, right? So, that's my GOAT, the old heads that grew up watching Jordan, you know what I mean? But it was a conflicting series for me because I was rooting for LeBron, but then I'm a Heat employee and I live in Miami. So Miami adopted me, as a Heat fan. But overall, they played great. And like Julian said, Jimmy Butler, and I even called it. I even said, I was talking to a few coworkers, and I was like, Jimmy needs a perfect game. He needs 40 for them to win. Of course, with the side help with, Hero and everyone else, but Jimmy needed a big game. As you can see, LeBron in the past in those finals, he'll drop 40, 50, and that's what it took because let's say those injuries he had and everything else. But of course, Jimmy's not LeBron, so he needed to be perfect. And, even getting 2 wins in the finals. And here's my take. LeBron lost. Yeah, everyone could argue he lost 6 times in the finals. But here's the thing. He keeps coming back. Now, that Miami Heat team, they could keep this momentum. They could either keep their head down or push for it again next year because, hey, it could happen. Right, you got by Milwaukee. You got through Boston, 2 great teams. Who say you can't do it again, adding big pieces, right? So free agency, Miami's going to be a hot spot. They're going to land somebody. I'm not going to say Giannis because, that argument, going to the team that beat you from the playoffs, it might work against him. So let's see if he's loyal and stays in Milwaukee. But congrats to LeBron, 4 rings, 4 Finals MVPs, along with everyone else. You can't forget about Dwight, got his first ring, long time.
Oh my God.
Rondo, yeah.
Dwight's washed, bro.
Who got one before his brother?
Oh,
The other one. One of the other couples.
the youngest. Well, the second youngest. But check this. Also, Rondo first one to win. Well, second player. I forgot that other guy's name, but they technically weren't Los Angeles Lakers. I think they were Minneapolis Lakers. But he's the first one, Los Angeles Lakers and Boston Celtics. And I don't know if you guys remember how long ago Rondo won back in 08. He was 21 years old. Now he's like 33, 34.
I think he was a rookie or he was
He was young.
year.
He was like a second
young,
year guy. Yeah. He wasn't even supposed to be anything. I mean, he was supposed to be like a role player off the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go as far to say you take away Game 5 and Game 6. I think AD's the MVP Finals. I mean, those first 3 games, that dude went off.
Points wise, yes.
I really think the only reason why LeBron got it was because one, he shut down Jimmy Butler, which is what needed to happen. I think if Jimmy Butler still had his way and he kept on balling, I mean, I still had the Lakers, even though I'm a Miami Heat fan, I saw the Lakers winning it. And I think that series came down to whether or not Anthony Davis was going to show up or not. Because those 2 games where he didn't were the 2 games that they lost. And I love Bam Adebayo, but he's just not he's not Anthony Davis. It's just how it is. And I know they had him out for what was it, 2 games, and then I don't think they had Dragic the whole series, right? Or no, he showed up.
No, Dragic came out.
He showed up game 6, yeah.
He was there game 6, yeah.
I mean, did Tyler? I feel like I don't know if it just has a testament to the Lakers D, but I just feel like Miami just showed out so well during the Eastern Conference playoffs that they needed to fire on all 4 cylinders because they just, I mean, Jimmy, it's just so hard to beat them. It's just so hard.
Yeah. And that's what Rondo said. It's you put a guy like me with a guy like LeBron, you're not beating us 4 times. You know what I mean? And that's the difficulty in the playoffs, right? You have to be so good. You have to be able to beat the squad 4 times. Miami played perfect 2 games. And you saw what it took out of them.
And it took a bad game out of
beat down.
And it took a bad game out of AD.
So, but give it up to the coaching, like you said, Eric Spoelstra, for those adjustments. People have to understand, right? That's all about matchups. That first game was a blowout. Okay, he adjusted the next few games, and the games became a lot closer. They needed to rebound. They needed to be more aggressive. And, they did what they had to do to just hard-fought win those 2 games. Again, it's hard to win 4. It's very difficult, to beat a team like that 4 times,
Yeah, I wonder
with talent wise, I think the Lakers were just way better, and so even off a jump, the Lakers were talent wise are stacked way better. You got an experienced Rondo. Rondo's been in the playoffs now. He's older. He's a veteran, and he has a really good vision, a really good leader on the floor. And you got Kuzma, Caruso. These guys can just pull up, and their bench was a little bit deeper than Miami's to begin with. And then two of your guys get hurt. So, like I said, going into the playoffs, the cards were stacked against them. And then even then, a veteran player like Goran Dragic, this guy is really good, man. He's like one of the most underrated players on the Heat.
Super underrated.
Guy, like he even not in this series, but the way he plays in the regular season, the way he can carry, he's one of the guys that you want with the ball at the end of the game. And to lose him in the playoffs, and like we've been saying, like the Heat, in order to even have a chance, they had to play perfect. I mean, and to get guys hurt and to lose, games big like that, just it wasn't really in their favors. Like the Lakers were favorites for a reason.
Do you think?
Sucks,
I was gonna say, do you think that they would trade Dragic and part of the deal for Giannis if they were to go for it? Like, who do you get rid of?
I don't know. Because
you definitely keep Hero because that guy is something else. Like that guy is gonna be good.
Yeah, that's your future.
Has value.
That's your future.
Has value. So here's the thing. Going forward with the Miami Heat, I want to give props to the Lakers because I'm talking about my team. So props up to the Lakers. I was supposed to win the series and you won. Big whoops. Big surprise. Anyways, going forward with the Miami Heat. The Heat got to make a decision. Pat Riley got to make a decision. Try, because this is Giannis is in his last year. Right? He's still on Instagram, not following. He only follows his brothers and whatever. Hasn't followed any of the Bucks players or the organization over there. Do you try to get him right now and try to get him into another bubble situation? Because it seems like the NBA is going to be in another bubble situation where they set up either, I don't know if it's going to be Orlando, but it might be 4 different sites where they have bubbles. What I've been hearing. So do you try to go and try to go back into the bubble situation again, or do you wait a year for his contract to be over and he'll be a free agent completely? Because if you trade for him now, it has to be you have to trade some value, and I don't think I think moving forward you still have Bam Adebayo pretty cheap. He's still on his first contract and he's pretty young. Which, by the way, Bam Adebayo's agent is Antetokounmpo's agent. All the 3 brothers had the same agent as Bam Adebayo. So that's a link to Miami already. If they want to do some, what's the word? Some finagling, some talks behind closed doors.
Yeah,
stuff can happen. So there's a path for Giannis to come. But it's gonna be on Pat Riley and the organization to decide how much is it worth it? Is it worth having him now and giving up good players like Tyler Hero or none? Young players like that have value, or do you wait for him to come?
Yeah, I'd say wait. My opinion, I'd say wait because they're gonna have the cap space to give a max. My thing is you don't want to ruin that chemistry, right? That hard fought team. Again, Miami Heat has its own culture, right? You don't want to go after the wrong free agents that have different mentality from the end set goal. That's why Jimmy fits so perfect, right? He works hard. He's not afraid to call everybody out. He's not for everybody. With his past team, 76ers, Minnesota, right? He calls his players out. He calls the coaches out. And, they didn't want him. But guess what? With the Heat, brought him to the finals. And, if they're going for a big free agent, which they're going to have room for, I don't think you want to trade your key pieces. You know what I mean?
It depends.
Those are the guys that got you there.
I think it depends if he wants out. Because then wasn't there talks that he wants out? And if there's...
No,
somebody
he claims he wants to stay. I don't know. You know how rumors go, but he said he wants to win it from Milwaukee. But then again, I mean, you never know. Unless Milwaukee doesn't make moves to help him out and get players, then he'll.
That's the problem. Yeah,
make adjustment.
So they got to wait on the Bucks. Their salary caps. I don't know. They're gonna have to make moves and get pieces for Giannis to him to be satisfied or him to be happy or him to get help. We saw how it looked like when he was off the court. CJ Middleton is a really good basketball player, and he's an all-star for a reason. But their lineup was short. He was a really good player. He was on the floor, and weirdly enough, the Bucks played well without Giannis on the floor. So you're gonna have to make Giannis happy, and I don't know what that piece is now. There's a lot of other free agents that have been linked to Miami. They've been saying forever, are they going to trade for Bradley Beal? Now I'm hearing talks Bradley Beal is going to go to the Clippers or some other team. Now you hear,
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see when the time comes free agency. So
you need one more guy.
Congrats to the Lakers. You know what I mean? 2020 champs, like I said, you guys already know. already jumping on my seat. Next time we're on camera, I'm gonna have that jersey. But I want to go into a recap. NFL now. Time to switch it up a little bit. Week 5. What's going on with that, Julian?
All right. Please tell me you guys saw that Chicago Tampa Bay game. What in the hell?
Tom Brady at the end.
Oh, Nick Foles. You never know what you're gonna get with that dude. I mean, obviously, I know him really well. So
Super Bowl.
I really think he's garbage. Like, I'm sorry. I really think Nick Foles. He's not going to lead that team anywhere. He's going to maybe go on a little win streak. They might maybe squeeze into the playoffs because they have a good start. What are they? 4-1 now? No, 5-1, 4-1, 4-1. I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
And dude, I don't know what's up with Tampa. It's like one moment they're looking great, and then the next they're just not. It just looks like. I mean, I think they're going to get better as the season goes on. I think they really just need to work things out. Like, there's just something. They just feel like they're not flowing when I'm watching them play. The defense is stout.
Yeah. I can see that because, again, Tom Brady, new team, Gronk, you added all these pieces, and people are trying to say, obviously, Tom Brady's a 6-time Super Bowl, winner, but they're trying to say he's a system player under the coach. Now they're trying to say, can he actually perform well out of that, New England system? But granted, when you put a team together for the first time, a lot of adjustments, and you know what I mean. So, I feel like he'll pick it up going forward. And
Bruce Arians does not like Gronkowski. He does. They brought him on as like a novelty piece. They do not. They do barely involve that guy in anything. I think they play that one dude over him. What's his name?
They have Howard and they have the other guy. They're pretty stacked at tight end. So, and I've been surprised that they haven't been using Gronkowski.
I think they just like the other guys more, honest. I don't know what it is. Maybe Gronkowski's just not fast, or I mean, when I see him play and I see him get catches and stuff, he doesn't look that bad, but they're just not playing him a lot. They're not targeting him. And I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, a guy just came out of retirement, so maybe he lost a step and we just can't see it. He's gone through, some injuries. You know what I mean? He's, we all thought his time was up, but, with Brady bringing him back, who knows what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm just glad they benched Fournette. I hate Fournette ever since the way he's part of the problem. That's what we're going on right now in Duval. And I'm just glad that I love to see this man on the bench, to see Ronald Jones. I actually just picked him up on fantasy.
They're super talented as Tampa Bay. I mean, they have Godwin. I know they've had some things with injury as far as Mike Evans being out for a while, or Godwin, who's coming off of injury. They're super talented, so there's no reason for I feel like it's a situation. Same thing with that we had last year with the Browns, where they're super talented. They have people that can play, and it's just they get it together enough to stack up some wins.
Bro, speaking of the Browns, I mean. You think they're making the playoffs? I mean, what's their record right now? They are 4-1 right now. I am shocked.
Yeah, here's the thing. So I've kind of been watching the Browns partly, because my boy Odell's on there and I got him in fantasy as well. But hey, you're right? So on paper, even last season, the Browns looked good. Obviously, the history with that organization, and you can't get too excited with all these big name players there, with Landry and Mayfield and Odell. But hey, is this the season they're going to prove everybody wrong? And I actually hope so, because I'm rooting for them. I want to see a playoff berth, just like we thought last year, but then obviously that didn't happen. But
I look at the standings right now. I mean, you got the Steelers, who are a really good team. I think they were really good last year, and continuing. Therefore,
they got the best defense.
You got the Ravens. They're 4-1. So the Browns are going to compete. If they get in, I feel like it's going to be either a wild card situation, but it's going to be real competitive with those two teams above them.
Yeah, and it's a 17 playoff this year too. So I have them probably squeezing. The AFC is really interesting right now. I mean, you're starting to get a lot of teams that you would never. I mean, the Raiders, bro, they're really turning it around. I mean, they just beat Kansas City. They just gave Kansas City their first loss. Derek Carr is turning up. He's like, "No, I'm keeping this job."
Did they put up 40 or 30 or 40?
It was 40 to 32 at Kansas City. at Kansas City.
Yep.
That was probably the upset of the week. Watch the game. I was switching. It was between that and the Dallas Cowboys game. Switching back and forth, but I didn't want to watch the Giants Cowboys. That's a boo boo. Yeah. That's a boo boo division. Hey, but yeah, super surprise for Vegas Raiders.
They brought in Gruden for a reason, right? He failed last season. You know, it was up to standards, but you know, they rebranded. They moved over to Las Vegas, and we can't forget how good Carr is. Before that injury he had, guy was a beast. So people are quick to forget how good people are and lose respect. Again, if you could be consistent, you took off the best team, arguably the best team in football right now. You know, you got the Seahawks there too. But, you know, Kansas City, defending champs, they had like a 15, 16 game regular season win streak or something like that. Like they were rolling. So, you know, 8 to win 40, and they still had a high scoring game, 32 points. And I don't know if you guys saw Mahomes' last drive to get him that touchdown. You know, he brought it closer than what it really was.
But, the thing was with Derek,
man, can't forget.
My thing with Derek Carr is like before this season, I mean, I think he's playing really well this season. He was always like average to me. Like he never seemed like he wasn't bad. He'll win you a few games, but I still don't know how I feel. I think the jury's still out on him if he can bring them to a Super Bowl. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, what's the point of having a quarterback if you don't feel like he can take you there? I think the defense got better at Las Vegas. I mean, they just dropped 32 to Kansas City. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, Josh Jacobs, that guy is unreal. I mean, they got a serious run game. Like, last year he showed out. Now this year, it looks like he's doing the same thing. Las Vegas, and they're coming up.
They definitely stepped it up this, you know. There's, you know, a lot of talks when, you know, back when still with them. You know, they made a run for like 1 year, and people are saying, "Oh, is their car for real?" They seem to backtrack, but you know, this year they're playing really well. So kudos to them for, you know, proving on their team, especially in a new city where you want to move that team to a new city. You want to make people excited to come out to games. So that's good for their franchise.
Listen, man, all those not everyone agreed with them moving to a new city. So I mean, the best way to overcome that is just win. But I want to ask you guys, get into these power rankings. How you guys feeling about these stacked up teams right now?
All right, let me put this up. All right, so ESPN's power rankings, I'll give you the top 10. So number 1, we got Seattle Seahawks. Number 2, we got Green Bay Packers. Number 3, we got Kansas City. Number 4, we got Baltimore. Number 5, we got Buffalo. Number 6, we got Pittsburgh. Number 7, we got Los Angeles Rams. Number 8, Tennessee Titans. Number 9. Wait, is this the right? Yeah, this is it. Or is that number 8, Tennessee Titans? Number 9, and New Orleans Saints. Number 10, the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns are coming to town.
Number 10, man. And let me remind you who they have over them. They have New England. They have Tampa Bay, Las Vegas, Indianapolis. Okay, I'm okay with that. I think New England's a top 10 team. I just feel like New England can beat the Browns. Like I get it, they're on a streak right now, but
yeah.
Tampa Bay, I'm okay with them at 12. I'm okay with Tampa at 12.
Yeah.
As long as Cam can stay on the field, I think you got a chance. We saw what the Patriots do when Ryan Hoyer's your quarterback.
I think they beat
as far as the
City.
Cleveland Browns, you know, they're gonna have a big game. They're playing the Steelers this week. This is gonna be a show up game. We're gonna see, you know, as far as that division, the Cleveland Browns division, they're gonna have to prove that they're, you know, top of their division this week when they play the Steelers.
Especially Steelers top. They are the best defense in the league. I mean, with TJ Watt, that dude's unbelievable.
And they did a good thing by adding, you know, last year they added Fitzpatrick. First round trade last year when they were trying to make that run. Just crazy to think, because I didn't even think that the Steelers would be playing, because I was pretty sure that I heard something that Roethlisberger was going to retire, because after that injury that he wasn't sure if he was going to come back, or, you know, people were like wishy-washy if he was going to play. So, you know, last year when they traded for Minka, with that good defense, you're like, okay, well, the Steelers are bought in. They're trying to win right now, season, and I think they're still continue to play good. We'll see what happens in that game on Sunday.
Well, yeah. I mean, now you got
to show it's still his team.
I mean, now you got that guy Claypool who just dropped 4 touchdowns last week, which is insane, which is great because now you're pushing Juju out to number 2, which is what everybody says is his more natural position, or playing slot. I think if that Claypool guy really starts showing out, they're a good team. They're a really good team. I think Ben is back as long as he stays healthy. Because I mean, think about it. That team last year, where did they go? 8-8 without Ben and without really any receivers, and they're still able to get there. They would have actually, in today's current playoff format with 17 playoffs, they would have made it. They would have been the 7th team. I think it is. All right, so now we got New Orleans at number 9.
Everybody's saying, this guy Drew Brees is on the downturn. Some of the decisions that he's making is passing, throwing decisions. I still think that the Saints defense is going to keep them into games, and they have with Kamara and
the dude's a beast
with their receivers. Yeah, they still got a pretty good team. I think their defense is a little bit better than
even without Michael Thomas. Even without Michael Thomas, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders fit that spot perfect. I mean, Michael Thomas, because he punched his teammate in practice or some shit like that, and now you tell Sean Payton wasn't having that. I think he's probably going to want to get out of there. I feel like they're going to have something's going to happen. I think somebody's going to trade for him. I don't think they really need Michael. I think he's great. I don't think you want to get rid of him, but they don't really need him. I don't think. I think with Kamara,
they got Taysom Hill. They don't need Michael Thomas. They got
Taysom Hill. It's so crazy how that man still does so. I mean, when he's going out there, it's like what's going to happen. He's not going to throw the ball. He's going to run it, and then they execute it so well. I mean, when he had that rushing touchdown from the shotgun, I knew that was happening. I was like, he's going to go run outside. He's going to get perfect blocking. He's going to score right in. And I was like, and they without a doubt, he always does that.
Yards. That was crazy.
I think you throw Jameis in there.
He's my favorite player on the team.
I
like the Saints in that spot.
Then we got Tennessee at 8, which did you see that Derrick Henry throw? That bodied that fool. That stiff arm.
Josh Norman, I think it was.
That was embarrassing. Jojo, did you see that?
I felt that stiff arm from over here.
Oh.
That stiff arm hurt me. I woke up with some neck pain.
He went to the high school 45 minutes from where I grew up. It was the county above, Jackson Duval. It's called Yulee. Yeah, he's a local kid.
Jacksonville's.
There's a county above Duval? I mean, Duval's right there on the border.
There's one more, and then it's Georgia. It's you have Duval, then you have Nassau County, and that's where he was from. But it's a small county, and then after that, it's Georgia.
Jacksonville's finest.
Yeah, dude, man. And then Tannehill, bro. I never know how is he still in this league? I mean, I get it, he's balling out now, but I think I saw I was talking to my boss one day, and he was like, when Tannehill was in when he was playing for the Dolphins, every single year he was in the Dolphins, he had the highest average total QBR, but it's such a bullshit stat because it's a lot of the times during those years they're playing catch up. But yeah, this guy has he's averaging a 95 QBR every year that season, and he was one of the only quarterbacks to do that or something like that in 40 years, which is insane. I thought his career was over. Mariota gets hurt. He comes in and last year he didn't do anything. This year, I mean, he's actually throwing that ball around. And I mean, you got AJ Brown, who's a beast. I mean, that dude's he hasn't played too well this year because he's just getting off injury, but he looks like he's starting to show out. That Giannu Smith kid, the tight end, he looks pretty good. Tennessee's a team that you forget about, but I don't forget about. I hate Tennessee with a passion. I love watching their demise is the best thing for me. But it's that coach. It's the coaching.
It was Didn't they got to the playoffs. The Dolphins beat did we beat the Bengals?
Patriots.
And then that put them we beat the Patriots that put Tennessee into the playoff so they had. I'm a fan of Tannehill, man. We always knew when he was down here in Miami, this kid was super talented.
That injury,
it just seemed
man.
it just seemed like every year they're asking, is he a franchise player? Is he a guy you should want in the playoffs? He's going to take you to the Super Bowl. We kind of ask that every year. And Adam Gase was supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. And we just never got returned. Like, you know what I mean? So when he left him, I wish the guy well. Like, he was our quarterback. He started off pretty well, and then he had a couple of injuries, that leg surgery that he should have had, but he didn't. He re-injured the leg on like a practice or something. I like the guy, and he's super talented. I think is a testament to like how actually good he was. How Adam Gase wasted his talent. Adam Gase was supposed to be this whisperer that I think boosting the Green Bay or something. And you see how Adam Gase is doing now with this sorry ass Jets, Sam Darnold. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know how this man still has a job.
Every time Adam gets away from quarterback, like they seem to improve. So good for them. The Tennessee Titans. I'm glad that they're making themselves relevant. That he's doing well because now he's just showing like yes, he did have the talent, but maybe he just didn't have the scheme or the players around him to help him show out. And
I think
he really is.
That Tennessee team is just coached well. I mean, you got Mike Vrabel, he's got that Patriot way, and he's just good. I mean, that defense is stout. I mean, you got Derrick Henry, which is one of the best. I mean, between him and Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the game. And then you got some weapons on the outside. But let's talk about this top three real quick. So we got Seattle, Green Bay, and then Kansas City. How do you feel about that game?
Ooh.
About that 1, 2, and 3?
I personally be rooting for the Seahawks. I think Seahawks are definitely going to be a top team, like a Super Bowl team.
I know why you're saying that. I know why you're saying that.
How am I saying?
Listen, tell the fans. Tell the fans who you have on your fantasy team.
I'm mopping up everybody with DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson.
Yo, I got him too. I literally got them too.
I remember in our draft.
Tell them how you really feel.
You were right behind me, right? I was like the third pick, and you were the fourth pick, JoJo.
Yeah.
And we were looking at. I think I picked up Russell Wilson already. I'm like, I don't know, who do I want? I wasn't saying, I was trying to be cryptic about like who I wanted to get. Obviously, I wanted to get, a quarterback wide receiver combo. So I ended up picking Metcalf, which has been pretty good because I think Lockett statistically is the better. Probably produces more fantasy. But Metcalf is just a beast, dog. Guy is just huge. He's ripped. And I just think in general, Seattle has a really good team. And they're going to be the top team in the Super Bowl. It's going to be, you're going to see them deep in the playoffs.
I don't think they're number one. And my only thing is, I think that defense is susceptible. Because I think Green Bay and I think Kansas City are better teams, but I think Seattle's constantly getting saved by the offense. I mean, Russell Wilson on that game-winning drive right there to Metcalf was easily part of the reason why they won that game, because the defense showed out a little bit to stop Kirk Cousins from doing anything. But then you got Green Bay. I think the only thing that's stopping Green Bay from being number one is just injuries. I mean, but that just shows you how good Aaron Rodgers is. Unreal. That guy is unreal. Like, you just watch him. That dude's arm strength is just superior. Like, it's unreal. Like, I don't understand how this guy can it goes 50 yards. And it's just accurate.
You got a nickname for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Dime Rodgers. This guy throws dimes, bro, on the run, in the corners, everything.
Him and Russell, dude, they are so accurate on that deep ball. Like, they just throw dimes just on the bucket.
Yep.
And I mean, who's Aaron Rodgers throwing to?
He leads the league in over the shoulder throws and catches, bro, and touchdowns. That's a weird stat, but hey, man, he's running with it. He leads the league in that.
I'm okay with Kansas City being
I feel like. Man?
What was that? I was saying I'm
I was gonna
okay with
say,
Kansas City being.
this year,
Okay, just go.
I was gonna say Aaron Rodgers. Last year he kind of had an off. Everybody was saying, McCarthy left. I think he's coaching the Cowboys now. Who was the problem? Was it Mike McCarthy's playing? Was it Aaron Rodgers? And he kind of had a down year last year. Well, we always knew Aaron Rodgers was good, man. Like we seen this guy throw deep balls, Hail Marys at end games to win games, and he's just having a better year than last year. So I never doubted Aaron Rodgers. Obviously the injuries are going to hurt, especially when it seems like the only guy producing is Monte Adams. But the guy, there's a reason why he's like a top quarterback. He's the elite, like he's an elite athlete, and
you got
still the best players.
You got the Lazard guy. I mean, he's hurt right now, but that guy's been insane. I think it's that offense too with that new coach, Matt LaFleur. I mean, last year, it's just crazy. They say it's a bad Aaron Rodgers year, but they still went 13-3 and made it to the NFC Championship game. And he had no weapons. And arguably, I would still say he doesn't really have a lot of weapons. I mean, you have guys that showed out, but like people weren't expecting them to. I mean, they drafted Jordan Love over picking up anybody. I mean, that could actually help them. But I mean, a lot of these receivers, they're showing out. I think that Matt LaFleur offense looks great. I mean, they've blown out everybody. I don't think they've even had a close game. That's why I'm okay with Kansas City being 3. I feel like Kansas City, I mean, as great as they are, I mean, New England put them up. New England, I think with Cam Newton would have won that game easily. Not easily, but I think they would have won it. I think Brian Hoyer and the turnovers, and then you had Jarrett Stidham, Stidham, right? Yeah, and the guy threw a pick 6, like his first throw into the game or second or first drive, or like that team was a mess, and somehow they still kept it close, kinda. I think with Cam Newton, they win that game.
Yeah, I could see that. Now, with this Dak Prescott unfortunate injury. Oof, that's a tough one for Cowboys fans yet again.
Yeah, I didn't see the game. Like I said, I was watching another game, watching the 49ers game too. I was switching between. So I just turned on to the Cowboys game. And I saw a pick. I think was it a pick 6 or was it an interception or something? I'm like, all right, I'm gonna turn off this game because that division is so boo boo. I didn't, I was watching the first half. I didn't watch the injury. But that's a huge big blow, especially with the guy, asking for big money in the contract year. But I don't know, man. I just don't like that division. I don't like Cowboys. Here's my pet peeve.
No one does.
I can say one. I hate when people say that the Cowboys are America's team. Stop it. Do it. Like, there's so many teams. I hate the Patriots. The Patriots are more of America's team.
They're called the Patriots. Like I'm saying.
So maybe America's team. We were just talking about Green Bay and Miami. That's probably America's team. Where you always see them, on the Thanksgivings and your Christmas, all the big events. They'll sprint. They usually get the prime time games. But I hate Cowboys fans. I hate when they call them. It's a marketing ploy. Okay, they haven't won since like the 1990s, since I was like 5 years old.
And they always have the most stacked team. They always have the most stacked team. Like this year, everybody's like, all right, they're favorites to go deep in the playoffs. Well, they found out the offense. I'll give them this. The offense is great, but that defense is god awful. I mean, they are so bad. They're just as bad as the Jaguars. They're just as bad as the Falcons. They gave up 34 points to the Giants without a Saquon Barkley and with Daniel Jones. Like 34 points. Like that's insane. Like Dak Prescott and that offense is the only reason why they've even won as many games as they have. And man, that injury had to hurt like hell for him. This man to be a grown man who's like, 6'3", 220 pounds, crying, that. And it looked awful. I mean,
besides the pain, I think it was more of a passionate cry because you don't want to let your team down. That could have been your year. So aside from him, crying from the injury, I think he's just passionate. Like, I think he realized, the outcome of that for their season. You know what I mean? You're still going to root for your team and all that. But again, big contract year. You're the main guy. Everybody's going to, like worry about and have their hopes up for, and you get a gruesome injury like that. It's just a terrible timing too,
bro. And then he lost his. Bro, he lost.
It seems like something that he can come back from. The only thing you have to worry about is it's not really the injury itself, because once it's broken, whatever, bones heal. What you got to worry about is if go into surgery and you have this situation where you have like Alex Smith, where you go into a dirty surgery where bacteria is getting, where they should be healing, the bacteria is growing and kind of eating the bone. Risk, having to get your leg amputated because you had a doctor doing dirty surgery. That's really the risk of the injury itself. I think he's going to recover, and I think he'll be fine. It's not like a career-ending thing. It's just the possibility of putting yourself at risk, in these COVID times, not allowing the surgery to heal properly. But I think he'll be back, next year, and he'll. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't stop his mobility or anything. I think guys are at the top of their game. They have all the trainers in the world.
Well,
he'll be.
I got two things.
Prayers up to Dak Prescott, man.
I got two things real quick. One, I think there's a lot to really consider. I mean, because you're talking about the money that Dak Prescott was getting. I mean, or he wants to get. You're talking about $40 million a year on a guy that you don't know how he's going to come back, and it's a really tricky situation. And then what happens if Andy Dalton balls out? I mean, because I think Andy Dalton is not that bad. I think he had a bad team in Cincinnati. I don't think he's great either. But I mean, and then I also feel bad for Dak Prescott. I mean, over the summer, he had his brother commit suicide. Then last year, his mom died of cancer. And now he has like possibly a career-ending injury that, I mean, I don't blame this man for crying, honestly. And the thing is, like, when you think about it too, like, look at Gordon Hayward. Would you say Gordon Hayward came back and he looks great, or how he was before the injury?
I never seen because he played one game.
And I think you see like, dude, I don't know. And then you're going to put a lot of money in this guy. I guess you just got to see. You got to wait and come back and see. But I don't know if you want to franchise tag him again, because that's going to cost a lot of money, more than what Jerry Jones is going to want to pay. It's a really tricky situation.
Yeah, I think for the time, because you got to think that's how Dak Prescott got his job. Is when Romo went down. Tony Romo lost a job after that, so got to be thinking that's like in the back of his mind.
Tony Romo was old, and we knew who he was, though. Tony Romo was washed. He wasn't going to take you anywhere. He had one playoff win out of 10 years of playing. Like, Tony Romo was done. They wanted to move on. That's my one.
Overhyped quarterback ever.
When you see Dak Prescott, him
and Jay Cutler,
it's got to be a thought in the back of his mind, because you have a veteran like Dalton. Yes, Andy Dalton is not, Patrick Mahomes or anything.
He's the best backup in the league.
He's been around the game, yeah. So you got a solid backup replacement that's gonna, it's been around the game. It's not like a rookie, some guy out of college you don't know how he's gonna perform. You kind of know what you get with Andy Dalton. So I mean, in general, it's gonna be tough for the Cowboys. I really hate the Cowboys, like I said. America's team. They're fraudulent. They're 1-3. They're fraudulent 1-3. The Falcons were so bad that they gave them a win. Should be 0-3.
The Falcons are dumpster fire. The Falcons.
That is true. That is very true.
The Falcons are a dumpster fire. They are god awful. A defense is here.
We'll get to the Falcons, but we got to talk about how you guys feel with Le'Veon Bell getting released from the Jets.
I see the top three teams that are interested is the Dolphins, Bills, and Kansas City. And then you go look at the schedule of who was it for what team. And it was basically it was literally lined up just like that. It was like the Dolphins, Bills, and Chiefs. I think they all play each other or something like that. I don't remember.
Wow.
I think the best fit for him, honestly, I think the Bills. I really think, I don't think Singletary's that great. I mean, I have it on my fantasy team. I mean, obviously Josh Allen's balling out and you want to throw the ball, but I think Le'Veon Bell's going to give you that short check down passes that can. I don't think his career is over. I mean, obviously he hasn't been anything since he left Pittsburgh, but I think he goes to the Bills. I think that's another weapon. I think it just makes the Bills better. I think it'd be good for the Dolphins too. The Dolphins have really surprised me. They're turning their team around really well. Fitzpatrick's playing out of his mind, especially against San Francisco this past week. The defense is stepping up. I think he'd be a great piece, but I think the team that would really want him, and I think would probably be the best, is the Bills, because the Bills is looking to win this year. And you can probably get him for cheap. I mean, the Jets are going to pay the rest of his contract. I think Bills only got to pay the veteran minimum, and then the Jets cover the rest of it. So it's like, take him now, go for your run with him. I think you could do something with that.
Times too, you got to look at whenever you see these trades or these transactions. A lot of times you'll see teams jump in the same division. So I can see a benefit to either the Bills, not likely the Chiefs, because the Chiefs had Edwards-Helaire.
I think they like him.
He's having an awesome year, and I think if Le'Veon Bell wants to play, he's going to either want to jump to the Dolphins or the Bills. I think the Bills is probably a better option. They're a way better team, and if you're trying to go to the playoffs, your ticket is better with the Bills. Then I saw a joke today that somebody said, Le'Veon Bell, the Twitter thing, and said Le'Veon Bell is looking at the Chiefs, Bills, and Dolphins, and then somebody put the quote tweet, and they're like, "Well, does he want to win the Super Bowl or does he want to live in Kansas City?" So I was like laughing at that. I thought like enemy sports people. I was like, "No way, Dolphins ain't doing nothing." But probably Le'Veon Bell probably want to sign with the Bills, and you see that interdivision transaction that maybe a guy signs with a new team, and they're gonna sell him. They're gonna sell the Jets' secrets, all their plays, all their calls. So you always see that kind of inner team trade, within the division.
Well, I don't know how Kansas
spot for him.
I don't know how Kansas City would even afford it. I mean, granted, this year, I mean, it'd be dirt cheap because the Jets are going to pay the rest of his contract for this year. But after that, I mean, unless you just drop him, which will probably happen. But I think obviously he got released, so he gets to pick where he wants to go. I think the Bills make the most sense. I think the Bills have the money for it. I think with their combo with him and Singletary, I think it'd be nasty. And then with Josh Allen playing, the Bills look really good. I don't know if they can take on Baltimore and Kansas City or Pittsburgh, honestly. But I mean, especially the way Tennessee made them look. AFC is really interesting. I mean, you got a lot of good teams. I really don't know. I mean, everybody has Kansas City as a favorite, but dude, I mean, you got Pittsburgh, you got Baltimore, you have the Bills that are coming up. You have New England. I mean, that's 5 stacked teams right there. And then I feel like I'm missing somebody big. Oh, and you got Tennessee. That's 6 teams that are really good. And then you got Cleveland. I mean, you don't know what's going on with them.
They're going to get their chance at the playoffs. We'll see how deep they go. But I think they definitely have a really good shot of getting out of the AFC East. Because
100%.
We've seen 100%. with being out, we've seen how Patriots kind of imploded the last game. So I think they're going to take. I don't know if they're going to go deep. Like I said, I don't have them as a favorite, but they're a really good team. Dolphins.
I can see that. Now, guys. How do you guys feel about this Pro Bowl being canceled? Is it a big deal or doesn't really matter? They're still doing the voting though. They're doing Pro Bowl selections, but they're not hosting the game.
Nobody cares about the game anyways. I mean, the game's cool. I think it's fun for the players. I think the one thing that does kind of suck though with the Pro Bowl is because you have some of those teams, obviously players that make the Pro Bowl but then go to the Super Bowl, it frees up some spots for other guys to kind of make a name for themselves. I mean, it happened to me at the Jaguars. I mean, we had Josh Allen and DJ Chark come in for the Pro Bowl because Kansas City had a couple. I think they had Tyreek Hill and somebody else. I think it's going to suck for those players that just got snubbed. But other than that, I think people don't really care that much. I mean, they don't really take it that seriously anyways. I think they could lose out on the vacation, but
yeah, my first opinion on it was that's a vacation right there. It used to be in Hawaii. They brought it to Orlando.
I feel bad.
Relax with the family and everything.
That's trash. I don't know why they ever. And then that one year they did in Arizona, I would lose my mind if I had my pro. I busted my ass all year long just to go to goddamn Arizona. You took Hawaii from
to play football.
even Orlando, bro. There's nothing in Orlando.
Bro, they
Like,
got Disney in Orlando. That's probably why they brought it there.
bro, anybody. They guys make.
I'm in Hawaii.
Bro, Orlando ain't shit compared to Hawaii. Dude, Hawaii is so nice. I'd be so pissed. Like the fact I don't know why they moved it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I guess the ESPN. I don't know. I don't know why, but that sucks. I would hate that.
Like, it's not a big deal. Nobody watches a Pro Bowl because, I think they made it fun last time. I think because they switched up the teams. Like, was it Deion Sanders versus somebody else? I forget.
They went back to
I really don't care for it.
Well, I know they added in the dodgeball tournament, which is a kind of it's a little entertaining. You need all these extra activities on the side from the game, because if that's the main attraction, no one really watches it. I mean, like, half the people don't even know who's in the game playing.
I think so, but that stuff, is important. They're going to keep it because, obviously in the contracts you get money, you get bonuses. So in these contracts, they're like, oh, you make an all-star, you're a Pro Bowl player, like that gives you a bonus. This stuff is in the contract. So,
yeah. I was gonna say, too, if they don't go, they don't get the money either, unless you go to the Super Bowl, obviously. Like, so you're kind of obligated to go if you want to get that. What was it, like $100,000 or something like that? It's like, hell yeah, I'll take my ass there.
So you get a Pro Bowl selection.
It's not fun.
You get some money, and you get a vacation out in the desert. Now I'm playing. Besides the desert, going to Hawaii, that's it's not bad, bro. Hawaii, $100K, free vacation.
When was the last year they did that? It's been a while now since they've been to Hawaii. They did Orlando a couple years in a row now. They did Arizona once.
Yeah, I think it's been Orlando consistently now. We should drive up. We're all in Miami. Let's go to the next Pro Bowl if they ever do it. Not this year, obviously. But all right.
They have one in Jacksonville too. I think Jacksonville they have.
No, we never.
Honestly,
Super Bowl.
We had a Super Bowl.
They should never do a Pro Bowl. They should never do a Pro Bowl in Jacksonville.
We had a Super Bowl.
Not deserve it.
Honestly, I'd be pissed if I had to go to Jacksonville for a Pro Bowl. I'd be pissed to go to Orlando. I mean, I think anything other than Hawaii would suck. Like, I mean,
only thing you got in Jacksonville is a Dairy Queen. Nobody wants to go there.
Yeah, and a Hardee's.
All right, guys, time to move on from football. MLB playoffs. All right, I'm gonna start off with this one. So
your
I want to open up and say, right? I thought, I quote, I would never have to say this. I am now a Tampa Bay Rays fan, and here's my reasons for that. One, yes, I understand they beat the Yankees. I was deeply sad, shed a few tears that night. We had all this firepower offense, and we just couldn't get the win. Tampa had a great season. They went 40-20. But why I'm rooting for Tampa? Because you guys know who they're playing right now. The Houston Astros, the cheaters, do not deserve to even look at another World Series. They actually deserve to be suspended this season. I don't even know why they're playing. They're lucky that there are no fans in the stands. But I'm going Tampa all the way, because you already know the Astros took out my Yankees last season, and they don't deserve to go anywhere. So I hope Tampa whips their ass to advance. They're actually playing right now. So one more win, and they moving on.
I thought the reason why you're rooting for Tampa is because, like, it makes you feel better that the Yankees lost to the World Series champ. So it's like your excuse.
We lost to the winners.
Yeah, I mean, we lost to the. I mean, I was rooting for the Marlins. I was honestly shocked the Marlins even like won that first series against the Cubs. I did not see that happening. But then they got smoked against Atlanta. I mean, and it was bad defense. I mean, the pitching just didn't show up. I mean, it was 7-4 in game one, and they allowed 4 runs, or how many runs was it? I don't remember that game. I think allowed like 4 or 5 runs in the 7th or 8th. It was late in the game.
Yep. Run. I remember that. It was like a 2-run or a 3-run shot. Got on base again, singled another guy in. And it was downhill from there. And obviously, they're not going to have the offense to keep up with that. You give them 4 or 5 runs tomorrow, like they're not going to come back. But yeah, the huge upset with the Cubs. I mean, Marlins weren't even supposed to be there. First of all,
that's what I'm saying. Shout out to them, bro.
Kudos to them. Yeah, good job. I mean, hey man, the 5-year plan. Hopefully, it's working. And next year, let's see if they advance to the next round. Because obviously, a few years back, you guys know we started from scratch, right? They got rid of everybody. People wanted to get traded. And to make a playoff berth, and it's funny. Fun fact. Obviously, you guys should know this. The Marlins had the highest playoff win percentage because the 2 times they made the playoffs ever, they won the World Series. So statistically, they have the best chances coming into the playoffs this year, which sounds hilarious. But
I like the 18 playoffs. They need to keep that. I really like the playoff system. I think this was like a good experiment for them. I think they've always wanted to do. MLB's always thought about doing it. I think this is really good. I mean, like you said, what Marlins came in as 8th seed or 7th seed. I like it a lot.
And a lot of the what they did for this bubble situation or for this season, they implemented a lot of new rules as far as the extra inning rules and stuff. And the thought was we'll just experiment because they just wanted to get the season going, just to get it going. Need to make the TV money, sell whatever advertisements. Yeah. But like you were saying, I think this playoffs keeping it open makes the game exciting. Like, yo, my sorry ass Marlins actually have a chance of to the playoffs, right? And they beat the Cubs, right? If they played the Cubs 100 times, the Cubs would win 98 of the time. Guess what? The Marlins didn't have to play the Cubs 100 times. All they had to play them and win was 2 games.
2 games. 2 games.
2 games. You don't got to win 100 games. All you got to do is win 2 games. They did that. You know what I mean? So it definitely made this season exciting. Opening up, making as many people involved in the playoffs, especially with a short season. It made me excited. It's like, yo, I haven't been rooting for the Marlins since years. Since I haven't seen them in the playoffs since the 2000s. And I hope that they keep this format because it looks like I don't know what MLB is planning. I think it's going to be a continuation. as far as all the leagues, NBA and MLB. I think it's going to be a continuation of this atmosphere until we get this COVID stuff under control. But as far as the Marlins, I thought it was pretty successful, man. They went all in. They made trades. They got these nice young arms, and they couldn't beat the Braves, but the Braves are really good. I think they're leading the series now. They're playing LA. I'm kind of rooting for LA. Oh, the Dodgers are winning the series.
Oh snap! Sorry.
What? No. The Braves are winning.
We got a hot take, guys. Hot take. Astros just beats the Rays 4-3. Now the series is 2 Tampa. So I'm about a little upset right now.
The game
just ended 4-3 close game. And Tampa got to get one more, man. They got to get one more. And right now, Dodgers 0-0 with the Braves. Count is 3-2. And actually, no, just top 3 right now. All right, inning just ended.
Atlanta's my team.
60-game season. You said Atlanta?
Atlanta, yeah. First off, because I had a lot of friends growing up, big Atlanta fans. I mean, Atlanta was actually the closest team for us. Well, no, technically the Rays are, but everybody's a big Atlanta Braves fan because Atlanta's been so good for so long, but never actually was able to win one. Bro, there's nothing worse than being an Atlanta Braves fan because I think they went to back in the 90s and early 2000s, they went to the playoffs 17 seasons in a row, but never won it. 17 seasons, or no, only won it once. I think they only won it once. Wow. 17 seasons in a row, which in the 16 playoffs, they were stacked. They were a stacked team. You had all those players from Andrew Jones, Chipper Jones, all those guys. Yep. And to go 17 years in a row and never won one, it's like, I just want them to win one. I just want, for my friends, for everybody, they just got to take it. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to beat the Dodgers.
That is a terrible playoff ratio. Now, check this out. I want you guys to think about this, right? Let's say it's non-COVID, nothing's going on right now. We can go watch the games. Imagine we could see the Braves and Tampa in the World Series, right? 2 of the closest ballparks, well, from us, Tampa to Atlanta. Imagine the fans going back and forth, or how it would feel like for that
It
World
feels like
Series
college.
playoff
It
run.
will feel like college.
Oh, I'm sure everybody take I-75 up and down.
Yep.
I-75. I think it's like maybe like 6 hours from Tampa, if I had to guess. It was 4 hours to me growing up. It was like 4 hours. So I think it's like 6.
It's probably like another 8 because it was like 6. Atlanta was like 5 or 6 hours from Tallahassee. Tallahassee's like probably another 3 from Tampa.
But
probably
Tally,
like 8 hours drive.
I think Tally's a little out west though. But I mean, you're talking about a straight shot on 75. But I mean, either way, I'm rooting for Atlanta, and then you got my boy Marcelo Zuna over there, and I think Atlanta's got a good pitching. Their pitching looks really good.
You got Acuna, killing the game right now, young guy. But this LA series, guys, when October comes, man, LA they fold like a book. I want to say that, right?
They're another one that's gone like how many years in a row now, and they still can't get one. I mean, probably the greatest pitcher of all time, but Clayton Kershaw.
Yep. They have to, bro. If they don't go this year, I mean, they've been pretty consistent in going, but it doesn't count if you're not securing the bag and getting that trophy at the end of the day. You got guys like Bellinger. You know what I mean? They just spent all this money getting Mookie Betts, top player. You know what I mean? So they're kind of looking like my Yankees right now, man. Big franchises, a lot of money, getting these players, and they just can't. They can't do it. They can't finish.
They're like the Yankees of the West Coast.
Basically.
Always rooted for them. I mean, I like LA. A couple of years ago, I wanted the LA to be LA Yankees series, but I didn't get to get it. But
yeah,
because I need, now Houston is now the American League. It used to be the National. Now they're American.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I kind of don't like the Braves. I've watched probably more Braves games in Miami because it used to be on TBS all the time. TBS, it's at Turner Sports over there. It's in Atlanta. Ace.
That field's nice. The new stadium's nice. I've driven by it.
So I probably know more. You're talking about the 17-0. I've seen a lot of. I probably know more Braves than anything, but I kind of don't like. They whooped up on my mom. So
yeah.
I mean, technically we shouldn't like them. It's a division rival, but it's whatever.
How dope would it be? How dope would it be if LA Dodgers win the same year as the Lakers? They still have a chance. They're not out yet.
They're not going to come back. They're not going to get 4 more games against the Braves. I just don't see it. I think the Braves.
Well, no, they need 3 more. If they win tonight, they need 2 more. So right now, series is 2-1.
It's the best out of 7, isn't it? Am I crazy?
Yeah, the best out of 7.
Yeah, they got to win 4. They're down
but
1 right now, and they're playing right now. So if they win today,
but the series is 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was best out of 3 and then best out of 5. Now it's best.
Where are they playing right now? Houston still?
Championships. Yeah, I believe so. Houston is a bubble, and then there's another bubble. Where's the other bubble? Is it in like Milwaukee or something? I forget the other one.
I don't remember. They're random cities, honestly. You cut out, Gabe. I can't hear you.
Camping World.
Oh, there you go.
So it's in
You're back.
It's in Houston and Camping World. I'm trying to figure out what Camping World is. I know the Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Is it in Orlando?
No, it's definitely Houston, and it's something else. I don't remember. Let's see. But where's Tampa playing right now? Jojo has the game on, didn't he? Wasn't he just watching it?
Well, the game is over.
Yeah, but where were they playing at? They were just playing in.
Yeah, do you see the TV? I know they have 2 bubbles. I just know that. I remember seeing the Marlins play.
Okay, I want to say, I don't know if I'm correct. I know one is in. I want to see they're in the West Coast for sure.
Well, it's Houston, and then I don't remember the second place is.
It says Camping World, but Camping World I know is in Orlando because that's where my college they play football.
Yeah, so it's Houston and Arlington, and the AL games.
Oh, Dallas.
Arlington.
LA and San Diego. The AL games, LA and San Diego, and
I remember the San Diego series.
Yeah, and NL's in Houston and Arlington.
Okay, but right now I think they're in Houston. I think. Oh.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Anybody but the Astros.
Anybody, they don't deserve to play this season. They deserve more than fines. They deserve all the fans in the world yelling at them at every different city. They got lucky this season. And I hope next season, if we are playing with fans, that we don't forget. We don't like the Astros.
I don't think people are going to forget.
That's it. I hope nobody forgets.
It was just so dirty. It was so dirty. Like
nobody forgets.
The thing is, they are a good team.
Yeah.
Like they deserve to be in the World Series. It was just they would have. The thing is, I think they could have won it without them having to cheat. That's what blows my mind. Like, I mean, I guess get every advantage you can, but
listen, man, when you know the pitches before they come, you have the best shot in baseball, and we all know that. Now, great recap for the playoffs, but how are we looking like for the preview for Week 5 in the NFL, guys?
All right, let's take our picks. We'll get our picks right here. How about we write down our picks for the rest of the season, and then we'll think of something. Whoever has the best record, or whoever has the worst record, I don't know. We'll make up something. I don't know.
So, like, you want to do the picks on every game, or like who's winning
every game every week, and then we keep our record.
Hey, man, that might take a while. We should bring it back for next week.
Well, we'll just run through, just quick.
All right, so
top of your head. All right, first game, Denver, New England.
Oh, you know who I'm going for?
Actually, let me write this down. Hold up.
I don't know what their roster's looking like.
Denver probably has no shot, but we're going for Denver. You know I'm going for Denver. But even I got Cam as my quarterback for fantasy, so I hope he has a good game but loses.
All right, let me get this down. All right. DNE. NE. So I got New England. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with New England.
I'm going.
As long as Cam Newton's still there, I'm going.
Ride or die Broncos.
All right, yeah, he can't go wrong with it. All right, we got Houston, Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee on this one.
Tennessee.
Good week. They put up 40 points.
Houston's defense is terrible. All right, I'll go Tennessee.
I haven't heard any great things from Houston this season.
Except for the fact that they beat up on the Jags. But all right, we got Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is my game to watch this week. So I'm going to go with the Steelers because I think they're the favorite until, proven otherwise. Yeah. I think they're the favorite to come out of the division. I'm going to go with the Steelers. Right. But this is going to be a game I want to watch this week.
My take on it, obviously you got the veteran quarterback. Pittsburgh's on a roll right now. I mean, Browns is on the come up. I want to go for the underdogs. I'm going Browns, man, to see if they could get that big win. I'm going Browns. Got to go all in.
Wow.
You're playing it safe.
I'm going. I'm going Pittsburgh. I'm going Pittsburgh. I think their defense is just too good. All right, Baltimore, Philly.
It should be a good game. Hopefully, it's good.
That's gonna be a good game.
Baltimore, Philly.
Baltimore for me. Even though I haven't heard much from Lamar this season. He's still doing his thing. Obviously,
he's not playing an MVP
season like last year, but I'm going Baltimore.
Ingram, one of my fantasies, and he's been pretty garbage. But I think Baltimore's still the favorite. Their defense is just really good. They're top in the 8.
They'll put up points. Philly looks like trash this year. Carson Wentz is. I don't know how I feel about him yet.
Sus.
He looked great his first 2 years, but these past couple of years he hasn't looked that amazing. I'm going Baltimore too. So we all got Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then we got Washington, New York. Trash game. Trash game. Oh, Jets. Giants, not Jets. I said New York.
You got two trash cans next to each other. At the end of the game, one of them's gonna be lit on fire. So I don't know which one. Listen.
Yeah, and it's on NFC East Boulevard.
God. All right, listen, guys. All right, I'm a New Yorker. I have zero faith in the Giants this year. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go Giants without Saquon, man. They put up big points against the Cowboys, and I think they can handle Washington.
Yeah, I think Washington's garbage. I don't trust Kyle Allen. If Alex Smith was in there, I'm going all in on Washington, but they're not playing Alex Smith. I just want to see that man play again. I think that'd be a great story. But I think New York, honestly, New York, they put up 34 against Cowboys. I'm gonna go New York on that one.
That's what I'm
I think
saying.
it's gonna be close though. It's gonna be really close. It's a hard pick.
Was it 3-3 final? 3-6.
Really garbage game, and I really hope the best outcome could be it's just a tie game. I think I'm gonna go Washington. I'm gonna go Washington just to be contrarian.
All right,
it's a really boo game though. I don't really care for either of these teams. I have Ingram on my fantasy, and he's also been a bust this season.
Should we even watch it?
I might watch highlights
afterwards.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for a tie. I'm going for Washington, but
I'm hoping for a tie. That's a first. That's a first.
All right, so now we got Atlanta, Minnesota. I think Minnesota's coming up. I think they had a rough start, but I think they're coming back. I think Atlanta is garbage on defense. I think Minnesota has a better defense.
All right.
I'm going Minnesota.
I think Atlanta's gonna go up 35-0 and then somehow lose.
Yeah.
I'm going for Minnesota. Zero faith until they can execute some wins, bro.
Hey, a new coach. They fired Dan Quinn, so maybe they change it up. I doubt it. But.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Atlanta on this one because I think the Vikings. I've seen them play at the beginning of the season. Their pass defense is so terrible. Like I've seen their cornerbacks get just beat on routes. I think they're playing better, the Vikings, but I'm just going Atlanta because I'm just going to believe in Matt Ryan airing out the ball.
I mean,
all three of his receivers if they help.
They did well against Seattle. And they're now number 1 rank in the league right now. They barely beat them. All right, now my beloved Jaguars versus the Detroit Lions. That's gonna be a trash game.
Week 2.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a trash game. I can't root against my team. I mean, all right, so partially I kind of do because we got 2 fans in Jacksonville. You got the ones that are optimistic and just, they just want to try to win as many games. And then you got the other fans that you're like, you know what? Chalk the season, lose every game. We got Trevor Lawrence. He's the best quarterback to come out since Andrew Luck. Just chalk it. Just bring in Trevor Lawrence. And I don't know how I feel yet. Honestly, I kind of just want to get Trevor Lawrence. Like, why not? Why would you pass up on that? We're already 1-4. The season's already there's no point. We might as well just lose every game. And then after this game, we're not winning another one because we have the toughest schedule in the league after this, and we're already a garbage team as it is. We passed our easy games that we should have won, and we're 1-4. So, whatever.
Sounds amazing.
But I'm going for the Jaguars because I will not ever bet against them. All right,
what you can't take for Zion. I think he already got drafted.
Yeah, tank for Tua.
Jaguars because he just sold me. Game, I don't really care. I think the Lions are a little bit of a better team, but I'll go with the Jaguars because I'm just Florida. That's
Julian already knows who I'm going.
Right? They got to win a game somewhere.
he already knows.
Jojo's going to watch this game intensely, going for Matt Stafford.
I'm about to request a trade if no one picked up Stafford in fantasy.
Honestly, it's not a bad. Pick up him and DeAndre Swift. Pick him up. He's
gonna dog Jacksonville. I'm going for the Lions all day.
All right.
Take that hat off.
All right,
guys. I guess that ends our first podcast ever. I think you guys had pretty good takes. This is the first. How you guys feel about it?
You guys don't want to finish it out? We got 6 more games left.
Oh, we got 6 more games?
Let's finish picks. Let's finish
picks. All right. We'll rapid fire this. All right. Cincinnati, Indianapolis. I got Indy.
I got Indy.
I'll go Indy.
All right, Indy.
I don't even know how Cincinnati's doing right now. Oh yeah, they got
their offensive line is terrible, and Burrow's not going to make it to the end of the season.
Burrow's getting
1-3-1. Yeah, he's getting manhandled. All right, we got Chicago, Carolina. That's actually a tough one. I'm gonna go Chicago, Carolina.
I'm going Bears.
The Bears. Now we another trash game. New York Jets versus Miami Dolphins.
Oh my God! All right, so this is two trash cans put together on this one.
Hey, listen, they had actually a good game. They put up 40 points.
No, honestly, Dolphins are on the come up. I think they look really good. I think they should easily win this game.
All right, this is New York.
We're not as bad as the Jets, though. We suck like the Jets. We're bad, but we don't suck like the Jets.
Hey, Dolphins had a great game last week. I'm going Dolphins.
All right. All right, now we got Green Bay, Tampa. That's a good game.
Ooh, Brady.
I'm going Green Bay.
Green Bay.
I think they're going to put up too many points.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Tom Brady right now.
Green Bay's too hot right now. And with Tampa's last game, didn't look too good, man. I'm sorry. Green Bay's rolling over them.
All right. Now we got Los Angeles Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. I'm gonna go the Rams too. I think the 49ers have too many injuries, and the Dolphins whooped up on them, which they should have won. I'm going Rams.
Yeah. I feel like Garoppolo is just slowly getting.
I think he's trash.
He's, that Super Bowl, he got exposed. And yeah, I'm going Rams.
All right. We got the game of the week probably right here. Kansas City versus Buffalo.
The Chiefs. They got.
I'm going with the Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to upset them.
I got Buffalo.
The game on.
And they didn't do too well I think they had me in negatives. So Kansas City, man, Mahomes going ham. And it's funny because Julian always claims I'm from Buffalo, New York, which I've never been to Buffalo. Never even seen Buffalo. He claims I'm from Buffalo, but I'm from Brooklyn.
You're from Buffalo.
But
I saw your birth certificate. I think Josh Allen's gonna be something. All right, final game, Monday night. We got Kyler Murray versus Andy Dalton.
Ooh.
Give me Kyler Murray.
I'm sorry.
I think he's having a really good season, a better season than last year. Give me Murray. Them Cardinals.
I'm gonna go with Cardinals too. I can't trust the Cowboys right now with Andy Dalton. I don't know how he's gonna play. I think we know who the Cardinals are. I think they can beat them.
Rod 1-3. It should be 0-4.
Yeah, they went with 40-39 against the Falcons.
Should have lost to the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm opting out to root for America's team, quote unquote, this week. So
he's going for the Red Rocket.
I'm sorry, Dalton. We kind of, he's a vet. We kind of know what to expect, like Gabe said earlier, and I'm not expecting much, to be honest. So going Card.
All right. That is all the games of the week. We'll see who wins. I'll keep the record. I'll mark it down for next week. See what it is.
Do I get a trophy if I win? I
don't know. We're going to go at the end of the season. We'll figure out something at the end of the season. Maybe some shit. I don't know.
Right.
We have to wear something.
That'll be super dope. Listen, man, after this next game, you're going to have to trade in that hat. I'm telling you, next podcast, next episode, you can't wear that hat, bro.
All right.
Don't do it.
All right.
Send him a Lions hat.
Yeah. If you send me a Stafford jersey and we lose, I'll wear it. Because I know you're not going to send me a Stafford jersey.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up. That's tonight's episode. Thank you all for listening. Again, this is Real Fan Sports Podcast. Follow us on IG, Real Fans Podcast, and Twitter, Real Fans Podcast. We also have Facebook and our YouTube coming soon. Great job, guys.
All right. That was a great first episode. Go. See you guys next week.
Go Yankees. Go Yankees.